Hello, race fans, and welcome to the penultimate race of the 2021B Old Testament Firearms Truck Series here in the Elite Racing Leagues. Coming to you from virtual Martinsville Speedway, I'm Zach Evans, joined as always, and I do quite mean always, by Gerald Campbell. Gerald, Martinsville, love-hate relationship. Usually the case with most drivers when it comes to racing here. For me, it's more of a love. I think for you, it's more of a love too. But what is it about this place that makes it so polarizing with drivers?
This is like the ultimate short track here. Martinsville, beating and banging. When you get done with this race, you know that you fought for it. It's not. You never have a situation here at Martinsville where you leave out of here where tempers or everyone's happy and go getting. No, people are angry, mad at each other after this race because it's such tight racing and so much on the line. And even so, with this track, in this race, as you said, it's the last chance for these drivers, 10 of them in fact, vying for 3 spots. At Martinsville, beating and banging will happen, and I'm happy to be here to watch it.
You mentioned, of course, that playoff scenario, one race away from the championship finale, only one playoff driver locked in to that championship battle, which means all these other drivers are going to be fighting hard to get into that finale. I mean, what are those emotions going to be like for the drivers fighting for those playoff spots?
Well, it's going to be difficult for any of them. I mean, out of all of the drivers, there's only one driver that's locked in. Every other driver that was vying for this position are not absolutely for sure if they're actually going to make it into the chase or into the final round. And to come here of all places, where if someone absolutely just misses the turn or gives you a bump and you go around, there goes your whole season. One bad bump from somebody and your whole season is out. There's so much on the line. It's so much for these drivers that they're gonna have to consider when they go into this 150 lap race of putting themselves in a position where they're not in jeopardy of the championship being taken out of their hands out of no fault of their own. So it's a short track, and as we've seen in real life with what it's played out in the Cup Series, this is to be honest, is the perfect track for this scenario because it is a driver's course and there's so much that can happen. Now, the drivers might not feel that way about being so excited about it, but for us that are watching it and up here in the broadcast booth, it gives us plenty to talk about, that's for sure.
And just to paint the picture as we get into the final minute of qualifying, we had Shane Terrian lock his way into the finale at Atlanta with the win at Las Vegas. Scott Crump won last time out at Fontana. However, he did miss the Las Vegas race, so his win does not lock him in. Right now, he is squarely on the bubble. You have Bronson Stafford, 32 points to the good. You have Jared Rexing, 24 points ahead of Scott Crump. Tyler Dixon is tied with Scott Crump for that final spot points-wise. Then you have Tom Bourne, 1 point behind. Chad Thurnquist, 9 points behind. Harrison Talon, 23 points behind. Corey Abbott, 24 points behind. Alec Baldwin's 28 points behind. Sean Ryan, 30 points behind. But remember, we also have in the Truck Series the stages, the stage points to go along with that. So even a guy like a Bronson Stafford, 32 points to the good, it's not over for him yet.
That's for sure, yeah. 32 points may have seemed like a lot, but when you consider that there's 10 points to be gained for 2 stages, that's if he's outside the top 10, that's a potential of 20 points lost to somebody. By no chance is that a safe scenario for him coming into the night. But now for some of those back there, maybe Ryan Barlvance and 30 points out, very far back, and I believe he's already in 11th place in points. Some of those drivers are in a must-win situation. Scott Crump, unfortunately, his win didn't count. It was league rules. It wasn't a situation that they decided to avoid it by any means. It was just a situation that's how the rules stated, that he has to compete in every single race for the chase to be able to make it in due to a win. He could still point his way, and that win went a long way for him because he was way out in points, and that win got him up into right now advancing right on the bubble, 0 points above Dixon. So a lot of people, a lot of different strategies. Some of those all the way in the back. They're the must-win situation that if they wreck, it didn't change the outcome. They have to go out and win. So you're going to see some aggression on their ends. And then you got people like you stated, Jared Rexing, 24 points up, where they just got to make sure that they stay alive. And that's easier said than done here.
For sure. So we'll take a quick moment here, run through the starting grid. Scott Crump qualifying on the pole, Shane Terrian qualifying second. On row 2, Jared Rexing, Austin Green. Row 3, Tyler Dixon, Tom Bourne. Row 4, Dylan Jones, Bronson Stafford. Then Michael Hossack, Tristan Wood rounding out the top 10. Sean Ryan 11th, Hunter Smith 12th. Sam Boutwell 13th, Ryan Barbieri 14th. Harrison Talon 15th, Mark Revelos 16th. Brent Jones 17th, Alec Ballvans 19th. Jordan Owens and Chad Thurnquist on row 10. William Harrington qualifying 21st. From there on back, guys who skipped qualifying. It looks like we've got or we're unable to log a clean lap. It looks like we've got a field of about 29 trucks here tonight getting ready to go green in the Byrd Racing 150 here at Martinsville. First stage break will be at lap 40, second stage break at lap 80. Then it'll be 70 laps to the finish here at Martinsville. We gotta ask, Gerald. We know how it can be at Martinsville. How many cautions do you think we're getting tonight? Let's just be blunt about it. How many cautions we getting tonight?
To be honest with you, I'm thinking above 10. It's got to be above 10. But we got the trucks coming around. Turn 3 and 4. We're about to go green, where the racing gets good and the good gets racing. And Scott Crump is on the gas. Green flag is out. We're underway.
Good jump there for Scott Crump. Shane Terrian's got to try to slot in behind him in front of Jared Rexing. Always a little bit of an Oklahoma land rush to get to that bottom lane here at Martinsville. Definitely an aggressive move there, but made it pay off.
Yeah, Dylan Jones back there got a little bit of a tap and has had to go down pit road. He was one of those drivers that qualified up in the top 5 and has now found himself all the way in the back of the pack. Other than that, it looks like it's good green flag racing up at the front. No one seems to have put a bumper otherwise, and we're still underway here. So very clean start for Martinsville race.
Off to a good start. I'll go ahead and put myself down for 6 cautions. How's that sound?
Yeah, it's very optimistic. We would love that.
I am an optimistic person.
I would love to see if to just play along with any of the fans out there that may be watching, may be interested. If you do a shout out and you get the exact number tonight before the halfway point, we'll put a speculation. It has to be before the halfway point. If you go about putting a number down as far as how many cautions we'll have tonight, we'll do a little shout out of your name at the end of the race, just to get people involved and maybe not be too upset with the outcome if someone goes around. Oh, as we say that, one of the chase drivers back there, Tom Bourne, definitely does not need that. He was only 1 point. Oh, he got into the 57. 57 minutes. Saves it. Oh, my goodness.
And how about these trucks all, well, Ryan Barbieri got a piece of the wall, but I think we're going to get through this.
Yeah, maybe Ryan Barbieri trying to figure a way to get back down on the bottom group is the fast way around here, but I don't know. Alex Ballvin squeezes Barbieri against the wall, but able to keep it going. I think at the 46 at this point just needs to take a break and get a breath in at this moment.
Well, that was exciting.
It's exciting, but man, those were a lot of chase drivers we just said in just a short amount of time, and the caution is out as we try to figure out exactly what happened. But it looks like one car around right in front of the leaders. It looks like Jordan Owens, not a chase driver. Is he going to be able to beat the? Oh yeah, he beat Scott Crump, so it looks like he might stay in front of the leader and not lose a lap here. So very lucky for him to be able to get it going.
We'll take a look here to see what happened exactly to Tyler Owens to bring out the caution.
Yeah, it looks like Joshua Freed right behind him. Maybe some contact here.
I
No, no.
No.
Just got loose going in. That's a hard braking zone. And I was
Yes.
talking to Jeff Green earlier in the race, and to make things even more complicated at this racetrack, it looks like shifting is involved in this race. So that might have been just a shift gone wrong, and just ended up making the truck come around there. That's just another thing to watch out here. Is if it wasn't difficult enough on a short circuit, not running into the back of someone, you also got to figure out how to shift and not spin yourself out.
You know, that definitely adds. I wouldn't have expected that, honestly, tonight. That's an interesting wrinkle. Good intel there from Jeff Green to you.
Yeah, well, I've been here all season long. You've been popping in and out. We've had fun, but
okay.
I know these drivers now in and out at this point, as we've seen the action and the stories of unfold, and yeah, for most people that don't know elite racing, it's all fixed setups, and so everyone's got the same setup going into this race. So everyone will know the benefits of shifting up and down as far as how to get around this racetrack, and looks like that's just through the field as a common goal right now.
Speaking of me popping in and out, everything I heard, I was surprised they even let me come back after last week.
Well, my wife did a fantastic job, but you know, Zach, we have a connection too. You know, maybe not the same one that me and my wife have, but
whoa!
You may have done the majority of the broadcast together, and I feel like we do a pretty good job here at Elite.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not sure how to feel about the connection part, but you know.
Is it a misconnection? I'll put that in Craigslist then.
There we go. That, jeez, wow. Oh dear. And the lights are still on the pace truck, so I can't even get that to bail me out. So I'm going to do an ad read instead to drift far, far away from that. Tonight, of course, the Byrd Racing 150. Byrd Racing is a multi-discipline motorsports platform which prides itself on being interesting to the core. With distinguished success in NASCAR, IndyCar, USAC, and beyond, their multi-driver platform pushes business development to new levels of growth and success. So thank you, Byrd Racing, for sponsoring tonight's race.
Well, they look like they're going to be lining up. Scott Crump decides to take the outside.
Huh. That's,
not sure why.
Okay.
It wasn't due to teammate reasons or anything.
You didn't get any Jeff Green intel on that one?
I'm not sure why he took the outside.
Okay.
He might be. I don't know if there's an advantage. Again, I don't know how these cars with the shifting, if they're super loose, but
maybe.
Scott Crump on the outshine, Shane Thurian on the inside, and behind them you got Jared Rexing and Bronson Stafford. A lot of chase drivers right there we just spoke of.
And for those who may have missed the first couple of races here in the playoffs, you can spot those playoff drivers with the white banners, white spoilers, white valences. It seemed to work for Scott Crump, but a little feisty behind him.
Yeah, and scraped fenders, as a lot of those drivers got in the gas very early and scraped that wall coming out of turn 4. But the 31 behind his teammate locks it up, trying not to run into the back of Bronson Stafford. Both of those are chase drivers. Bronson Stafford is 32 points. He just needs to have a decent finish. And you're just seeing these drivers sending it in, going into these turns.
While that was going on, I was actually oohing and awing at Chad Thurnquist. He had a pretty good send into turn 3 there, but well.
And boy,
I wonder if that wasn't very similar to what I was just talking about. We'll pull up the replay before I incriminate anyone, but Sean Ryan, I do believe, was in front of Chad Thurnquist. So let's take a look here and see. Survey says.
And nope. Gone wrong again. It looks like he just carried too much speed, maybe on a downshift, and the back end comes out. Again, we'll state most of these drivers maybe not as comfortable with the shifting part aspect of this race as it's turned out, and you're just seeing them going loose, and that's just another case like that. Unfortunately for Tom Bourne, who was only 1 point out going into this race and has now found himself sliding down the field, has now accumulated more front-end damage on his truck.
I don't recommend it.
No, you need these bumpers. When you need them, you need them.
So that's our second caution of the night. if you're scoring at home.
Yeah, so we're up to 2.
We're,
Again, if you guys can put out a shout out of how many before the halfway mark of how many cautions we have, you know, the first person to put the right number down, you can't just do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna just say that because there's gonna be some guy out there that's just gonna type 1, 2, 3, 4 at this point. But we'll do a little shout out for you if you can guess the right number.
Oh. So, we're not even halfway to the first stage break.
No.
That'll come at lap 40. It is currently lap 17, under caution, here at Martinsville. Scott Crump leading the way, Shane Terry in second, Jared Rexing third, Bronson Stafford in fourth, Tyler Dixon fifth, Chad Thurnquist sixth. Nope, lights are still on. So, not doubling up just yet.
No, I put a high number on cautions just to the amount of aggression that we're going to see from these drivers. Again, there's stage points at lap 40 and at lap 80, and what that ends up telling is there's points on the line. And with 1 or 2 points being the deciding factor right now, being in or out, you're going to want to get as many points as you can. Scott Crump came into the night and thought he might have been locked in, but not. Is doing everything right. If he goes out and wins this, I mean, that's 10 points added to his name. So he's right on the cut line, essentially 0 to Tyler Dixon, which is not too far behind. Tyler Dixon's only in 5th. So, I mean, yeah, I predict a lot of these chase drivers are not going to opt for, cautious approach to this race.
Doubling back up for the restart once again, Scott Crump going to the outside, Jared Rexing committing assault on a pit cone on his way by. I'm sure the stewards will frown upon that, assuming we actually have those here instead of, well, never mind, we'll leave the Formula One jokes at home.
Yeah, people probably don't want to talk about stewards anymore at this point.
No, probably not. Probably not. Getting ready to go back green here in the Elite Old Testament Firearms Truck Series at Martinsville.
Scott Crump waits quite a bit and is able to jump, but I don't know if he's clearing him going into the turn. He left him out on the outside. Nope, he does this time. He is able to clear. That's going to leave that front row, or the FRN truck there, able to get into second, and FRN right now battling for third on the outside of Jared Rexing.
There's the battle for now. It's going to be a battle for fourth. Bronson Stafford on the outside. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, we saw a little bit of bumping there. Looks like from... Chad Thurnquist maybe got into the back of Bronson Stafford there just a little bit.
But that's all even from the most gentlemanly drivers, you kind of have to do that kind of thing at Martinsville. Throw those blocks, throw those dives to get that track position and get that real estate on the bottom, because if you don't, you're just going to get bullied all night long.
Yeah, if you get stock on the outside, there goes all those positions. And once these trucks single file out and there's no one not getting freight trained, the passing is pretty difficult here. So the track position trying to gain on the restarts are so key and critical. And that's why you're going to see these drivers try so hard to either gain a position or try to keep it. As you see Chad Thurnquist dive it underneath Bronson Stafford. Again, Bronson Stafford really just came into the night 32 points up over the cutoff line. Just needs to make sure he doesn't get... Oh! Tyler Dixon gets sideways.
What was that? He doesn't need to what?
He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that. That's what he needs. He needs less of that and more of nothing behind him at this point.
Oh boy. That was a pucker factor moment if there ever was one, for sure.
Again, I don't know how much to stay... Oh! It's going to be wrong again. Caution's going to come out. Tyler Dixon, who is only tied going in with Scott Crump, goes around. It looks like he's just going to have some left front fender damage. Doesn't look like he's going to have any kind of issues with anything. But, oh boy, that's what that does affect more than anything is he's going to be behind all that field, and to get back up through there is just going to be difficult.
So we were watching that one live, so let's see if we can hear. Yep, there's the dreaded lock up and slide to bring out the caution there for Tyler Dixon.
Yeah, that's so. What ends up happening when you downshift going into these turns, if you are not familiar with it? Most stock car drivers usually love to just stick it into fourth and stay in fourth until the race is done. But what essentially what happens is when they go into that turn and they shift it with too high of an RPM going into it, that back tire just wants to spin faster, and it just gets the back end to just come around on you. And that's what you just saw right there. They're not braked hard enough before they shift down into the lower gear, and the back end just swung around.
So, a couple of trucks coming down pit road here. We see Tom Bourne on pit road. We saw Sean Ryan on pit road. Of course, Tyler Dixon coming to pit road now. Up front, Scott Crump, still your leader. Shane Terry in second, Jared Rexing third, Chad Thurnquist fourth, Bronson Stafford fifth, Michael Hosick sixth, Hunter Smith seventh, Tristan Wood eighth, Ryan Barbieri ninth, Alec Ballvans in 10th. Do want to take this moment to thank another sponsor here in the Elite Racing League Truck Series. Of course, the title sponsor of the Truck Series is Old Testament Firearms. They pledge to honor God in the provision of quality firearms, accessories, and more at the best value possible with customer service that goes beyond expectations. Thank you to Old Testament Firearms for their support of the Elite Racing League Truck Series. Of course, they're going to be, this is their last season as the title sponsor here in the series, but they've been around for a couple of seasons now, and we definitely want to give them a big shout out.
It's going to be hard to say anything else than
it's going to take some getting used to, right?
It's like when they went away from Craftsman with the Truck Series. It just, everyone slips and says Craftsman still every so often. I hear it, but yeah, we'll miss Old Testament Firearms. We'll still see them out on the track. There's a few drivers that still have them as a primary sponsor, so you'll still see them from time to time. And who's to say they won't come back? You know, we didn't think Camping World Truck Series would come back, and look what we got. We got Camping World Truck Series back now in real life. So we thank them and hope to one day run across their paths once again.
For sure. Who knows? Maybe they'll be sponsoring some of the truck races next season with Dixon Smoked Meats taking on the title sponsorship for the series. Regardless of what you call it or who's footing the bill or whatever the case may be, we're getting ready to go back to green here at Martinsville. Once again, Scott Crump taking that outside line. Let's see.
It's just such a risky maneuver because if Shane Therian is able to stick the restart here, he's got the inside preferred line, but Scott Crump,
got the wall!
Oh, and what did I say? Shane Therian's on the inside, the preferred line. Is Scott Crump going to have the outside momentum? He might coming out of here. Nope, Shane Therian on the inside. The biggest error on that whole situation is, like I stated, if you don't get that restart, which the wall did not help in that situation. Now you got a car on the inside, and Martinsville, the car on the inside is the preferred way to get around.
Well, if there was a time to mess around with it, I guess now is the time to find out. You're going to have the stage breaks and all of that, but man, you'd hate to lose the lead here.
Yeah, especially when you're on the cutoff line. You know, you don't want to, you're racing so tight, especially with a driver already locked in and has teammates behind him that desperately need to try to get in. You know, Shane Therian's going to do everything he can to try to beat Scott Crump, you know, to help his teammates along. And, caution is out. Who is ahead of who? I have no idea.
Oh, that's going to be interesting to see.
Shane Therian. Oh, looks like Shane Therian's going to get the lead. Oh, tough sledding for Scott Crump. It's going to lose the lead here.
So let's see if we can find out who brought out that caution. Or actually, wait. No, we're not at the stage break yet. So let's see here if we can...
Looks like Shane Ryan got the EOL there, so it looks like the 9 was the one involved in that caution. This would be his second incident of the race. So he will be out, looks like.
And it looks like very similar to the first one, a lockup. Definitely he was hard on the brakes to avoid making contact with those drivers in front of him, but ultimately does spin out. And I think you probably have actually ears on race control, so if that is indeed him getting parked, that will be it for his championship hopes.
Yeah, he was 30 points out. He came in with just the hope of winning at this point. So if he is in or out, regardless, his chances of making it through to the final round was pretty low at any point. But what this does do is it causes a shootout now for the stage end.
It does, and I can't imagine there will be two. Let's see, the caution. If the caution came out on lap 33 or 34, it's going to be pretty close to a 2 or 3 lap shootout for those stage points, I believe.
Correct. Well, we're at 4 cautions now. Do you feel confident with your 6?
Oh, I'm so in bad shape now. I am having what we call a bad time.
Yeah.
These truck races have been so clean this season, though. I think the number was like 91% green flag laps, and that's with the stage cautions. Some of these races probably could have gone clean and green the whole way if it weren't for the stage breaks. But I mean, it is Martinsville, and like we saw it, or I saw at Vegas, you know, the intensity has ramped up so much here now that we're in the semifinals of the playoffs, so to speak.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, I will say though, you missed. I would almost predict the race of the year last week at Auto Club. Such incredible racing, and as you stated, it was a very clean race for the most part until it wasn't. And for the most part in the beginning, though, for everyone that tuned in for it last week, was some great side by side, great passing. It almost looked better than a super speedway with the amount of passes and how the drafting was working. And then they come here, and it's a completely different set of circumstances for a lot of these drivers. As we do see, looks like Shane Thurian deciding to take the inside, not opting to do what Scott Crump did.
Yeah, we'll see. I have a feeling that's the safer play, right? I get what Scott Crump was trying to do, but like you saw, all it takes is that one miscue, and you find yourself in a bad spot. Now Scott Crump has to figure out how he's going to get around this 38 truck and get back in front. Starting with this restart, which it looks like it's got to be about a 2-lap shootout.
Oh, Shane Thurian gets... Oh! Yeah, we said that on unison right there. It looks like Scott Crump almost came down onto, I think that's...
Thurnquist.
Chad Thurnquist, yeah. Chad Thurnquist is 9 points out coming into the night. He's going to gain quite a bit of stage points at the end of this. And Scott Crump got 3 wide? Oh, it's a tapping? They tapping.
Oh, man.
And a caution is out. I'm not sure where.
I don't... Let's see.
Oh, a couple of drivers around. Ryan Barbarelli, one of the drivers that was...
No, we're following. It's not him, I promise.
No, Ryan Barbarelli was around.
We were following him live.
Oh, not Ryan Barbarelli. I apologize. That was...
I'm seeing Sam Boutwell.
William Harrington, actually.
William Harrington.
47. Yeah, William Harrington.
Okay.
His first season.
That might be a separate deal then. Let's see here.
No,
That's contact with Mark Keeler and Sam Boutwell. I don't think Harrington gets into this one. All right then. Or is that him stopped there? He might have stopped to avoid. There's one truck blinking in and out on my screen. Okay.
It was Sam Batwell in the 47.
Gotcha. Well, all right then.
Yeah, Sam Batwell, his first season, he's had an up and down season so far, and I'm sure he's learned a lot, doing his first league race, and got to do a shout out for him because this is what this truck series is about. It's for drivers like him to get into it, introduce him into Elite, get his name known amongst the other drivers because the names do carry, and we will eventually see some of these drivers progress their way into the echelon of the Cup and the Xfinity and Elite, and potentially run into there, as it looks like all the FRN drivers of, I believe that was Shane Thurian and Sam Batwell, and or not Sam Batwell, I mean
Tom Bourne and Bronson Stafford.
Correct. Yes, those 3 drivers for the FRN group. All 3 of those are going to be going into Cup and Elite next season. So good news for them. We're going to have even more top-of-the-line drivers to compete with in the top series.
Speaking of Shane Terrian, it would appear this is, for all intents and purposes, this ended up being the stage break. And it looks like he led a group of about 7 trucks that opted not to pit under this caution, which I don't know how much tire wear versus track position is going to matter tonight. I would imagine fuel is going to end up being almost a non-factor with as many cautions as we're getting. That might be the play. We'll see.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure with the amount of, shifting, if that's affecting any of the rear tires with the wear or anything like that. It's hard to really say with this setup exactly what's going to be the benefit, but we'll find out here. He's got nothing to lose, essentially. He's already won and got himself in, so he's just going for the victory at this point.
Shane Terrian, Tristan Wood, Ryan Barbieri, Harrison Talon, Hunter Smith, Michael Hossack, Mark Rebelos showing as not pitting under that caution. We'll see how this all plays out. Tom Bourne, first truck on for. Oh, well, that's how it's going to work out.
Oh, no, big calamity. And Scott Crump around but doesn't hit anything.
A parking lot.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out how to get these trucks around each other. Is that most of them do come to a stop. We'll have to find out if any chase drivers were seriously injured in that one.
Well, we will definitely have to take a closer look. Let's see. Let's take to the sky here with the chopper.
Oh,
so it looks like the 07 spun the tires. That's Michael Hossack, and then they just all pile in. Probably Mark Rebelos took the hardest shot there. After that, it looks like just a lot of...
Yeah, Bronson Stafford got pretty hard impact with the front of his nose. He was able to continue going, but we don't know how much damage it's going to do or if he's got any engine damage from that. But Scott Crump got turned around, kept it going. Doesn't look like any serious damage on him. So looks like for the majority of the chase drivers, it didn't look like any of them maybe got too much from that. But with all the checkups, who's to say?
Well, so here's the bad news, okay? If we go green the rest of the way, I'm sitting pretty at 6 cautions right now. The problem is there's at least one more stage break. So you know what we're not going to do?
You're not going to win.
we're not going green the rest of the way.
No.
Now, if we go green the rest of the way and just have the one stage break, David Huckleberry in the YouTube chat is going to be in perfect shape. But I'm not feeling too good for him right now.
Yeah, at this point, we're only 46 laps in, and we've already got 6 cautions, so it's shaping up to, we're about 1/3 of the way through. I predicted 18 in the beginning. I'm looking like I'm right on the money at this point.
Oh, okay. To be fair, you predicted that before we came on the air, so people watching are like, no, you didn't, you liar. I will vouch for Gerald. His first guess was 18. I think on the air you stuck with like 10. You were a little nicer. But
did I say 10 or did I say there'll be above 10?
I'd have to go back and look at the videotape. I'd have to go back and look at the videotape. But your very first number that you said before we went on the air was 18. So that's looking phenomenal right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not that I want that.
No,
but,
I don't know. Nobody wants that.
But we got to play with, you come to Martinsville, you know there's going to be cautions, it's just one of those situations. And you come in here, and they're having to shift on top of everything, and it being a playoff spot for the Final Four. Everyone's season's coming to an end. Everyone determining that this is a must-win situation. It just kind of sets it up for it.
All right, so Shane Terrian, Tristan Wood, Harrison Talon, Ryan Barbieri, Scott Crump, Jared Rexing, Zishan Dura, Tom Bourne, Chad Thurnquist, Bronson Stafford currently showing as the top 5 or top 10 rather on the timing monitor as we get ready to go back to green on lap 50 of 150 here in the Byrd Racing 150 at Martinsville. Let's see if we can get a little bit better start this time. Shane Terrian's away at the very least. A little bit of jostling out back, but so far we're all pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, that was a very clean start for the whole field. Shane Therian given an early start on that, kind of spread things out, which is preferable for some of those. Oh, Chad Thurnquist is just, he's loose going into these turns on the downshift.
Oh, no, you can't do it. Not like this. Not like, okay, we're good.
I don't know how, but we're still okay. The aggressive as he is, number 10, Jerry Rexing. Oh, he's on
the bumper to him. Put the bumper to him. Jared Rexing scooting by for a second. Ryan Barbieri, not sure that's the guy I want to put a bumper to.
No, it's
well,
trying to get a bumper to the 10. He dove it in there, but
unfortunately, I hate to say I called that. I really do hate to say I called that.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Ryan Barbieri went in there trying to give a little bit of a payback for the bumper that he was received in the previous turn, and just wasn't able to get to the bumper and realized he had way too much speed at that time.
This feels like a good time to go back to the cockpit cam. What do you say?
Yeah, let's get an idea from the man himself what happened. Yeah.
He did get to him. He got to him a little bit.
It
wasn't a complete failure. Well, the Russian judges got to give it a 6 out of 10, I think.
Yeah, but, I mean, points deducted for taking yourself out.
The first rule of stock car racing, etc., and so forth.
Yeah, you just can't take yourself out.
So, yeah. Bad news for David Huckleberry.
Well, what that does do is it puts Jared Rexing right on the back of Shane Therian. You see how strong he is. He's out there racing like he needs to win this to get in. He's 24 points up, and with the stage points he received, he was fairly up there in stages. I would almost predict he was, pretty securely into it if he just finished in a decent position. And you can't tell Jared Rexing not to drive aggressive. That's just not in his code. He's got to go.
I mean, you've got the playoff factor. You've got some of these guys that we've seen race so aggressively all season long, like Jared Rexing. Yeah, it's Martinsville. It is Martinsville.
We're having fun up here. I don't know if some of these drivers
are they're not having fun, but we're having a great time.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. I love the drama, and in this series, it's all boiled down to this. We got 2 races left, and you go down to a track like this where, if someone's not been too nice to you for the whole season, that you may have owned something, this is a great place to just pay it back at. Just an easy way to just, oops, and I missed my braking zone and get a good little payback for some of these drivers. So I love this track, and I love this this whole setup as they have it for the end of the end of the season here.
You sound like you've made that sales pitch over the radio before.
No, of course not. I just lost my braking.
Oh, okay. All right. If you had some response energy, you might not have missed that breaking point. Response energy brings together form, function, and flavor in a great tasting, lightly carbonated energy drink without the lousy aftertaste associated with most drinks in the category. Specially formulated with a proprietary blend of caffeine, complex vitamins, and taurine, Response delivers a concentrated boost of focused energy without giving you the jitters. And, those jitters, that's probably, that's what can make you miss those breaking points.
Well,
nothing? That was a great segue. Come on, Gerald.
What do you want me to tell you? You did great.
Thank you. That's what I wanted you to tell me.
Now, if like I said, if these drivers can just be as good on the ball as you are, we'll go green for the rest of the way here. Probably not, but we'll see.
I'm not optimistic. I am optimistic that Shane Therian is leading right now as we come back to the restart to start lap 58.
Ooh, Jared Rexing gets so close. He's on the gas so hard. He's going to try to stay to the outside of Shane Therian. He is going to stay to the outside. Caution is out.
Caution is out. All right. No. We're back.
I was looking forward to that because we were going to have a great battle with the fresh tires of Jared Rexing, and it looks like Scott Crump was just back up there and third looking for his way around Shane Therian, and fortunately caution is going to come out again.
Let's see if I can figure out where that came from. Oh, there it was. Unfortunately, I don't know if I don't know if it's gonna play. No, okay. We might not be able to get a replay of it. It's gonna be hard to tell. It was Dylan Jones spinning. Okay, he stays with us. He stays with us, so we will have a replay here. It looks like just a simple case of spinning the tires on the restart out of turn 4, which is really easy to do here at Martinsville.
Yeah, backs it into the wall there. Not too much damage. Just gonna keep going. He's had previous damage, so not having as much luck tonight.
So that's our 8th caution of the night, and I'm telling you, I don't know. The way these cautions are playing out, we're still looking at 3 guys up front: Shane Terrian in 1st, Tristan Wood in 4th, Harrison Talon in 5th. They haven't pitted yet.
Yeah, again, they're hoping to make it to the final stage, which is not far away. I mean, it is only 19 laps, and how the cautions come out, he might have a shot. But I mean, you saw Jared Rexing. I guess tires really do play a big factor, because he almost got him on the outside there if it would have stayed green, and that Scott Crump was looking for his way to be able to try to figure out a way behind or past both of those drivers. So tires do seem to be a little bit of a factor. It was always my strategy coming into this is, as soon as you can get tires, you get tires, and just stay on the track and let the cautions play out. But with the shifting, I think it's made the tires even that much more necessary.
It's definitely a wrinkle I would not have expected coming into the evening. But you did get that top quality intel. So here's the funny thing, Gerald. I'm gonna actually. Okay, we need to send an all points bullet. We cannot let Jared, not Gerald. You're Gerald. The 10 truck is Jared. Jared keeps assaulting those cones, and I mean, this is supposed to be a family program and everything. I don't know how much longer we can allow this to keep happening.
He's just showing off to the other drivers that if it comes down to it, he's not afraid to use that front bumper.
Also, I do want to make fun of myself really quickly before we go green, because here I've been adding on this text bit to keep up with the cautions or whatever. What if I told you this software does it for me?
Oh, does it? Well, you got that little extra work. What are we up to on cautions?
8 cautions, currently 40 caution laps, and also 1 lead change.
Oh, wow.
Yeah!
Well, we're going to find out here if we're going to get another lead change, as it's been the same point in the track that Shane Theory, and he's got to change it up eventually, or Jared Rexing's going to figure out a way to get it on this restart. He goes right there, right when it goes about to the point where it can go flat out. This time around, Jared Rexing really not having a great restart there.
So now, here comes the you always see when the real world NASCAR races at Martinsville, how important that inside line is. Are you almost okay with being Jared Rexing now in 3rd right now?
It depends. If Scott Crump gets around...
Oh, no!
Never mind. We're going to have a caution right here.
Oh,
they're not done. They're still making contact. Oh, boy.
Boy.
Harrison Talon got hit by about, I think, 4 different trucks at that point.
So he was one of our trucks that hadn't pitted yet. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's going to pit now.
He's going to need to go down pit road for something, because he got hit a bunch.
Let's take a look at the replay here.
Looks like he might have just gotten loose going in.
And we'll see if we can get the body count here, unfortunately. Yep, loose on entry. We've seen that a couple of times. Chad Thurnquist gets a piece. Then he gets Zeshawn got a piece. Tyler Dixon,
4.
Sam Boutwell, Mark Keeler. I think maybe even there might have been one more. Maybe Anthony Ludy got a piece from somebody like Tyler Dixon swerving to avoid. It was hard to say for sure. There's a lot of black trucks on track.
Yeah, 4 or 5. We'll just say 4 or 5 trucks made contact with him at that point in time. So, unfortunate for him, that was not what he needed, because he was up there. But again, just fortunately for him, he's going to have a lot of front-end damages. It seems he took a lot of paint home with him.
Well, that brings us to 9 cautions.
I'm looking pretty good.
You're looking phenomenal. I don't like
So,
it.
if it keeps up at this point, 18 is going to be overshadowed. It's going to go above that.
I wonder what the Truck Series record is.
I know the most all-time cautions for Elite that came at Martinsville here, so...
I'm shocked. I'm
Go
pretty sure I
figure.
was in that race, actually. I'm pretty
think it
sure
was-
I was...
34. Do you know who won?
You?
I won.
I thought so, actually.
I won that race.
I thought so. That was not just me. I'm pretty sure I felt good about that guess.
Yeah, you just, like I said, you just let it play out. I love watching the drama play out. You just make sure that you're not one of those in the drama, and then it's a lot more enjoyable. If you're in the drama, then it's not that enjoyable. So I'm sure a lot of these drivers are either caught up in someone else's drama, as it looks like the field is pretty beaten down at this point. I think there's only one truck that's the leader there, Shane Therian, that has no damage. Everyone else, it looks like, has some scuff marks on their vehicles.
Well, that's like my first Elite Top 10 was at North Wilkesboro in the SMRI Productions Grand National Series. I think that was the 2020B season, but I might be wrong on that. It could have been 2021A. Anyway, I remember that Top 10 very well because that was also the race, you might recall, Matthew Weeks winning without ever pitting in 150 laps at North Wilkesboro.
If there's a stat, Elite's done it at some point in time with some crazy thing that you would have never thought on a league race, and that doesn't surprise me.
So getting ready to go back to green. Once again, Shane Therian choosing the inside. We get Scott Crump on the outside. Jared Rexing, Chad Thurnquist, Tom Bourne, Tristan Wood, Alec Balvins, Zishan Dura, Corey Abbott, Anthony Ludi. Your top 10 as they show right now. Pace truck makes a hard left-hand turn onto pit road. If we manage to stay green for 10 laps, the stage break will come at lap 80. I don't know about all that, but we're going to give it the old call.
Scott Crump, 3 wide! Oh, no! Scott Crump,
okay.
Oh, no! Scott Crump, and they're not done wrecking. They are still spinning out. Scott Crump's got some front-end damage. Looks like Brent Jones is around in the middle of the turn there.
I didn't even finish saying Old College Try, and we had flunked the exam.
No, Scott Crump, one of those drivers that was on the bubble, just comes up, tries to clear himself, or is not aware of a driver above him, and just comes up right into him and spins himself around going into turn 1.
Oh, so we'll take another look. That's got wheel spin once again. All right, and then we're 3 wide, and then he gets into, I believe that's Tristan Wood. And then it's going to be a party in turn 1, a little bit of Brent Jones, a little bit of Kyle Walgren, a little bit of Dylan Jones. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it looks like 90's going to get double EOLs here, one for causing their caution, and I think they even knocked him. Man, they just really knocked him. They knocked him for a lane change as well.
Well, yeah, you're going to change lanes when the rear wheels are lighting up like you're doing a burnout before running down to quarter mile. All right. I mean, technically, that's the right call, but I don't think Scott Crump was preventing that lane change from happening, considering what the rear tires were doing.
I mean, that's got to sting. You get your win taken away, which essentially has you locked in, celebrating that victory as though you did, and then you come into night, and then, that, again, I stated he was only 0 points above the cutoff line. If it didn't, and I got to go back, if he didn't restart on the top line, Shane Therian wouldn't have gotten around him. He could have decided to stay out. A whole load of different things could have changed because when he was out there, he also lost positions. It's just a domino effect as to what ifs at this point.
Oh man. Let me get a quick ad read in. I don't have a good segue for this one, but before we go back to green, let's talk about some C2 Freight resources. C2 Freight offers complete freight management services. They are ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future. With thousands of qualified carriers in their database, they're capable of handling shipping for every type of goods, from perishable foods to office equipment. Whatever you need to ship, They have access to the necessary equipment, including flatbeds, double drops, vans, tankers, refrigerated equipment, multi-axle heavy haulers, dump trucks, auto carriers, intermodal containers, and more. That's C2 Freight Resources, one of the premier partners here in the elite racing leagues. We're at the halfway mark, Gerald.
Man, I don't know if these trucks can take another half. There's so many trucks with front end damage and so many trucks with just issues going on. I mean, I don't know. I would say about half the field are just standing barely on a leg at this point. But they're going to line them up. And, man, we got to get if we can get going, I think we can get past this restart issue where it's just I think they're all spinning their tires at this point. But 4 laps until this end of the stage, so we're not going to have a long green flag.
No, and I think that's going to just make this even more aggressive for these playoff guys trying to punch that ticket to the finale. Here we go, back on the loud pedal, Shane Terrian off and away. Can we get to lap 80?
I'm just glad we made it past the start-finish line at this point. We're green flag, and everyone is going straight. Looks like Jared Rexing is going to have the momentum to get back onto the back bumper, and he has the tire advantage now. Not as big of an advantage as he did earlier on with all the restarts, but he's got now 3 laps to make the decision on how he's going to pass him high or low to be able to get the stage win.
It's going to be really interesting. It looks like we've actually gotten a little bit singled out here, so hopefully we'll be able to get to the stage break. Coming to lap 79 now, Shane Terrian leading the way, Jared Rexing, Tom Bourne, Chad Thurnquist, Alec Ballvans in 5th. It'll be interesting to see who gets those top 10 spots. We'll be 1 lap away from the break next time by Shane Terrian continuing to lead.
Yeah, this is where he's going to have to do it this lap if he's got any way to get around him. He's going to have the run. He's going to look onto the inside. Is he going to dive it in? No, Shane Terrian throws it. Oh, he gets so close to the bumper. He gives him a little bit of a tap in the middle of the turn. Shane Terrian able to get back onto the pedal and still able to keep it in front of him. Now they're going to go into this turn. One last turn. He's going to try on the outside. No good. Looks like Shane Terrian is going to leave here with another stage win.
Another stage win for Shane Terrian. Jared Rexing 2nd. Tom Bourne 3rd, Chad Thurnquist 4th, Alec Ballvans 5th, Zishan Juris 6th, Tristan Wood 7th, Ryan Barbieri 8th, Corey Abbott 9th, Michael Hosick taking the final top 10 spot. And now our attention will turn to pit road. Who comes, who stays out? How will we set up for this final, well, LOL. It's not going to be the final run to the finish. But how will we set up for the final stage? Shane Terrian stays out
again.
Jared Rexing came down pit road. Tom Bourne staying out. Chad Thurnquist staying out. Zishan Duras staying out. We see Alec Ballvans on pit road. It looks like Ryan Barbieri is staying out. Tristan Wood coming in. Michael Hosick staying out. Scott Crump staying out. There you go.
I would say at this point, it looks like Shane Terrian's trying to do what Michael Weeks did so long ago and just try to run out the entire race on this set of tires. Because there's no point at this point. Halfway, if you didn't take tires at this point, you're not coming back down pit road unless if something happens to you. But one thing we do need to mention here, Scott Crump did not score any points. And one driver that did score quite a bit of points in 3rd position when he on that last stage was the 31 of the Daytona winner, Tom Bourne. And Tom Bourne has stayed out again. Tom Bourne was only going into this race 1 point behind Scott Crump. And he just gained a bunch of points right there on Scott Crump. Do we know where he finished in stage 1?
I do not.
We'd have to go back and check. All I can say is that until the checker flag waves, it's up in the air, really. One driver that is probably feeling fairly safe is Jared Rexing. Scored a fantastic amount of points in both stages.
Yes.
And with the amount of drivers out, there's only 18 drivers on the lead lap. And he was 24 points coming in. I would almost feel safe. He's pretty much locked in at this point.
Bronson Stafford's probably wishing he got more stage points, but he's getting into that position now as more and more trucks fall by the wayside that he's probably feeling pretty comfortable as well. Currently running.
That leaves it down to one position right now. And from what it looks like, there's only really, Tyler Dixon didn't score stage points in either go at it, and he's got quite a bit of damage. He's, I believe, second to the last person on the lead lap. Trying to find out where he's actually running at right now. No, he's actually one lap down, so he's I believe, yeah. He was tied going in. Scott Crump got quite a bit of points on this first stage, so yeah, we'll have to figure it out, folks. It's a lot going on.
We'll definitely be on pins and needles waiting for the points update before we go off the air to let you know who the final four are going into next week's championship finale at Atlanta. But right now, we've got a little less than 70 laps to settle the matter here at Martinsville. Sky Motorsports front row, Shane Terrian, Tom Bourne. Shane Terrian on the outside, but it is, like I say, those teammates. Green flag is out.
Well, if Jared Rexing had an advantage a little bit there before, he's got a lot of advantage now because essentially he's going to have 80 lap newer tires than the leaders. But, whoa, we see a driver diving into the inside, stating that he is still a playoff potential here, and a threat at that, as he is underneath the 31 going into turn 1 there. And is he going to be able to clear? That's Chad Thurnquist, and he does. He clears the 31 going down the back straightaway.
Chad Thurnquist getting ahead of Shane Terrian for second. Now he's got to try to run down Tom Bourne, the new leader. Starting lap 89. We see.
Do you think?
Go ahead.
You thinking Shane Terrian's going to probably get tires after this? Because he's now, he's now lost the advantage of being up front.
I think he would at this point. And let's be honest, in the case of Shane Terrian, he was playing with house money anyway. He has the win from Las Vegas. So that was the playing the hand that you're going to keep getting these cautions, be able to stay out front. I do also wonder, I mentioned he started on the outside, have to wonder if there wasn't a little bit of co-opetition there with his teammate who needed that win, perhaps, to let him get, I won't say let him get out front, but certainly give him a good shot to get out there.
Well, Chad Thurnquist probably ruined their strategy of being 1-2, as he is able to work himself around Shane Terrian to be able to get that second position. And looks like, oh man, he's so close to that wall. He's digging. He's doing everything he can right now. Not necessarily a must-win situation for him, but a win definitely would just secure that spot, that final spot for the final four.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate there. Actually, you say it might ruin their strategy to have Chad Thurnquist in second. If we get another caution, and you can put those two teammates on the inside line, that might actually be to their benefit.
It can, yeah, if they time the restart just right, and they can both be able to rock it underneath Chad Thurnquist and everything. But that's if Chad Thurnquist doesn't get the lead before the next caution comes out, which he's
digging.
Right there. Yeah, he is right there.
He has closed the gap here.
And that might be on his mind too, that this is if you don't want the teammates to jump on you and gang up on the next restart, you got to go out and get it right now. And
quite literally right now, because you don't know when the next caution is going to fall.
Yeah, but they better be looking at their ticker, because the driver that's coming up very fast, tenths of a second faster, almost a half a second that last lap faster, it is Jared Rexing. He is charging with those new tires. Again, we don't know how the good is, if the good goes away and it evens out, but right now, Jared Rexing, still a fairly clean truck, able to work his way around all those drivers that stay it out. Now has found himself in fourth position and digging to try to get into this battle for the lead.
It's not going to take him long to get there, I don't think. He's only about a second and a half, I'm looking at the wrong number. Yeah, he's about a second and a half shy of the leader, but he's down to probably about 7/10 before he catches the third truck in that line.
Going through the field, though, it's all spread out. So, the closest battle right now is those the battle for second. It looks like, I don't know how he's doing it with those old tires. Shane Therian, with essentially the tires he started on for the beginning of this race, it still has life in it to put up a battle with Chad Thurnquist for that second, as Chad Thurnquist is battling hard to get the lead in front of him. So a good three-way battle, about to be a four-way battle for the lead here.
And then the question will become, how does Jared Rexing get through this pack? He does definitely have the fresher tires, and that's absolutely helping him now, but we know how crucial that track position is and being able to defend that bottom. Certainly he's going to have to just get monster runs to set himself up for those dive bombs we've talked about.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, you know that maneuver is going to be played. You're going to... Oh, caution is out! This changes it. Caution is out. We're going to try to figure out where that caution came from, but that changes a lot of strategy there.
Let's see if
There's a truck blocking entrance of pit road here.
Okay.
Oh, it's Tyler Dixon. Oh, and he's actually going to be going down another lap as the pace truck is going around him as we speak. So, unfortunate for Tyler Dixon, who was, he blew his engine. That's why.
So, yeah, something must have happened before that. We'll take a look here on the replay to see what happened to Tyler Dixon. It looks like he was in the neighborhood of Anthony Ludi here. A little bit of contact into the corner, and then Dixon head on into it. Yep, that's not healthy for the engine. No. So.
No.
And that was a tough deal. It looked like Anthony had the run to the inside, and it's hard to tell. I'd have to take another look at that one to see exactly where I would, or if I would assign blame on that. We've got time. We'll take another peek at it here and see what we deduce out of that. Definitely looks like the 43 got the much better run out of turn 4. Ugh.
Oh. Just bumped it, and it just sent him. It just kind of placed the car or the truck in the wrong direction for sure. Regardless of who you take blame on to that, it doesn't matter for Tyler Dixon. His season's done. His chances of making it into the Final Four are finito. It's not going to happen this year. He's going to have to wait another year to, be able to work his way back up to try to fight for it once again.
So what did happen is Shane Therian came down pit road. So did Zishan Dura. They're currently showing 9th and 10th on our monitor right now. Tom Bourne now leads, Chad Thurnquist 2nd, Jared Rexing 3rd, Alec Baldwin's 4th, Corey Abbott 5th, Bronson Stafford 6th, Tristan Wood 7th, Brent Jones 8th, and then of course Therian and Dura 9th and 10th, Ryan Barbieri in 11th. So that shakes up the running order a little bit, just a little bit, here as we work our, wait for it, 12th caution of the evening here at Martinsville. We had a nice little run before that one, though.
Yeah, we're coming down to about 45 laps left to go. We'll have to keep an eye on Zishan Dura, who was up in 5th and running very decent for tonight. He was we haven't talked about him much, which comes down to Martinsville. That's a good thing, because if you're in the back of the pack, it's usually due to a caution. And for him to be still running fairly well, he's going to have new tires and going to try to mount up a charge at the end, so good for Zishan there. But we'll have to keep an eye also on Shane Therian, his freshest set of tires. And, we saw how fast he was even on old tires, so we'll have to keep an eye and see if he can be able to work his way back up.
Getting ready to go back, green flag racing. Tom Bourne, Chad Thurnquist on the front row. Tom Bourne, big jump. He's going to keep the lead. The battle's going to be for 2nd. Jared Rexing, Chad Thurnquist. Jared Rexing, no, he might go for the lead here. Tom Bourne up the hill in turn 1. Jared Rexing to the point. Chad Thurnquist back through for 2nd. It's going to be a battle for 3rd now with Tom Bourne and Alec Ballbands.
Alec Ballbands gets into 31 around in front of the whole field.
Teammates.
His teammates. Both teammates were, all 3 of the FRN group guys there are all involved. And, that is not what that group wanted.
Oh, and all of those, I mean, with the exception of Terry, and of course, they were all fighting for those playoff spots to get into the finale at Atlanta. Oh my goodness. We'll take another look at the replay here.
Yeah, I think Tom Bourne was just given the EOL. I'm not sure. I believe it might have been for a lane change, regardless for the fact. So he was going to go back, but going back and going backwards are two different things that both bad, but having both of them happen to you is not great. Looks like he might have cleared for the cleared up, which is not allowed in the league. You're supposed to stay in here.
He definitely drifted up a little bit. That's a close one. I won't say I disagree with the call, but it's a tight one. It's a tight one. Then of course you go into, oh, there you go, just blocked the view, railroad track. No, we're fine. And then a little bit of, I don't know if that was contact or net code necessarily with the 5, but
I would just call that a racing incident between those two on that. But regardless, the 31 was going to be in the back anyhow.
Yep.
So regardless what the call was from race admin for the start, that call was made after the spin out, so that had no play into that caution there. So unfortunately for 31, he's going to have to try to work his way back out because he was going into this night only, like as we stated, only 1 point behind Scott Crump. With Scott Crump with his issues and being back so far, was in a fairly nice position. But now he's going to have to try to figure out if he can get back up there. But he made hard contact with his teammate Bronson Stafford, who hit the inside wall pretty hard as well.
So now Jared Rexing leads the way. Chad Thurnquist second. Alec Baldwin's in third. Corey Abbott in fourth. Corey Abbott, of course, one of those playoff contenders who really... And
Alec Baldwin's. Both of those drivers in a pretty much at this point a must-win situation.
Yes, right.
I mean, Alec Baldwin and Corey Abbott, man, what a story for one of those two drivers. That would be so fantastic if one of those two drivers can find a way of a true Cinderella story coming in tonight with, you know, not really a shot, no one giving them any credit to their name. And if you look at their trucks, pretty clean trucks.
Quick shout out before we go back green to Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses, and other of our fine premier partners here in the Elite Racing Leagues. Getting ready to go back to green inside of 40 laps to go. Front row, Jared Rexing, Chad Thurnquist. Then you see Alec Baldwin, Corey Abbott, Tristan Wood, Shane Terrian, Zishan Dura, Sam Boutwell, Dylan Jones, Kyle Walgren. The top 10 as we get ready to go back to green here at Martinsville.
Watch for the 5 to get a good restart on this. I think they're going to time it because the 5 and the 10 are teammates, and the 5 does have a fantastic restart, able to get underneath the 92. Not going to be able to clear them. It looks like Chad Thurnquist is able to stick that outside and be able to keep the second place position, but that does put Alec Baldwin comfortably in third.
Alec Baldwin does slot into third. Here comes Tristan Wood. He's going to get up to fourth, I think, in front of Corey Abbott if he's able to hold him off here through 1 and 2. Caution's out.
Caution is out.
We'll see what brought this one out. I see on the scoring it looked like Ryan Barbieri was off the pace, so we're going to see if maybe he was involved in this. He certainly was. Let's see how he got there. To the replay. Probably a little bit of lockup there behind Walgren. Maybe a little bit of a tap there from Scott Crump. Back in the throttle. Too much throttle. There was a lot going on there.
Well, if you were wondering about the FRN group, guys, they Bronson Stafford, who was 32 points up and gained quite a bit of positions, now finds himself a lap down at 16th. Tom Bourne also finds himself a lap down at 17th, who was not in and was oh so close, really, but now finds himself having to rely on A, getting a lucky dog, and 2, other people are having quite a bit of issues because Chad Thurnquist was reasonably within shouting distance of points-wise to be able to make it in. Alec Baldwin in third was not, but has a shot to get the win, as we stated, his teammate, who is pretty much at this point locked in points is leading. So maybe see something of happening with teammates there.
Well,
and then Corey Abbott in 5th, again, must-win situation for him as well. So this last spot is so up in the air at this moment.
and we did just see Bronson Stafford get the Lucky Dog wave around, so that will bring him closer to the battle. Also, it looks like, which makes sense, I believe that would have been his second caution Ryan Barbieri done for the night, so that was probably a result of that caution, even though he did just spin. As we should be going back to green here, maybe another lap or two, working our 14th caution of the night here at Martinsville.
Yeah, it looks like Scott Crump still finds himself in 14th place. Horrible luck for him, as I stated, with such a fantastic regular season champion, and just all around just been top of the charts from most of qualifying for almost every single race. As we've I don't know if we got a tracker how many poles he's had, but it's been a pretty high number, and fortunately it looks like he's in desperate hope of not a new winner for a chase driver, and 2, for some of these drivers he was close in points to fall back to him a little bit, because he might have a difficult time with as much damage on his truck to be able to work his way forward from there.
Man, it's so hard to process at this point, like all the strategies, the different, what's going to end up being the upper hand in this deal, especially both from the playoff chase standpoint, the tire strategy standpoint. There's just so much going on, but the end result is we've got about 31 laps after when we take the green here to figure it out here at Martinsville. Jared Rexing, Chad Thurnquist on the front row. iRacing Pace Truck makes the hard left turn on the pit road. We'll see when Jared Rexing steps on the gas pedal and gets us back underway.
Right there, and Alec Baldwin's, once again, them working together, has a very great restart there. But looks like Chad Thurnquist is able to stay to the outside and has lost it now. So looks like Jared Rexing is going to come. Oh! Chad Thurnquist is going to have a ability to dive in if he's going to be able to keep it there. If he's going to be able to figure out a way to get around Jared Rexing. They make a little bit of contact coming out of turn 4. Still side by side going into turn 1. Oh, so close. This is very important. Chad Thurnquist not locked in. He desperately would love to have that win just to secure that position. And they are still side by side, wheel to wheel, going in turn 3 and 4.
Oh man, just tight racing. You know how badly Chad Thurnquist wants this. Door to door around Martinsville. Jared Rexing hanging tough on the outside. A little bit more momentum there for Chad Thurnquist coming out turn 2. He's got nose ever so slightly ahead. I think he's got to clear him off turn 4.
Yeah, the winner of Texas earlier in the season is able to, but
Jared
Rexing,
on the curve.
Downshift definitely affected that, but is able to keep going. But that allows Chad Thurnquist to now have about a four truck length lead now over the 10. As Shane Therian now finds himself in 4th with the newest set of tires and trying his best to get up there to play spoiler to Chad Thurnquist's chase hopes.
And you know he's wants nothing more than green flag laps here. He's got the freshest tires out of these front runners as he looks inside of Alec Ballbands for the 3rd spot. He's going to likely finish the deal here in turns 1 and 2. Indeed, Alec pretty much lets him go so he can get back to the bottom in front of Tristan Wood for 4th. And boy, it's going to be interesting to see if that 38 can continue to close the gap with those fresher tires.
Well, roles are reversed. We saw earlier in the race the 38 was being caught both by Chad Thurnquist and the 10 of Jared Rexing, and they were giving him a hard time, and now it's switched around, but a caution is out.
Oh, hey.
What are we up to now?
Unfortunately, I think it looks like Zishan Dura, unfortunately, was involved in this one after having such a good run earlier in the night. Let's see. We'll take a look here on the replay. Heading into turn 1. Again, Just that loose on entry that we've seen so many times tonight. Loops it going into turn 1. Doesn't look like anybody else got collected in it, but boy, what a bummer for Zishan.
Well, luckily for him, it's not over. He's still got a fairly decent truck, and there is only 15 cars on the lead lap, so that just spots him in 15th. I believe he was still in 10th, so he lost about 5 positions, is able to keep going. He is down pit road maybe to get a final set of tires to keep on, to at least have something at the end.
This is caution 15, by the way, Gerald.
Well, 3 more.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Do I do a shout out to myself if I win? I mean, how's that work?
I'll get in touch with my lawyers and I'll let you know.
I heard I win a PlayStation 5 if I get it correct.
No.
Do you have a PlayStation 5?
I do not. I do not have a PlayStation 5.
You and the rest of the world.
Right, pretty much. So.
Well, it looks like this was pretty helpful for Chad Thurnquist and Jared Rexing. Now the question comes, does Chad Thurnquist take the bottom? Because then that allows the driver with the newest set of tires to be able to get an easy position on Jared Rexing going into turn 1 and 2 and put him right on your back bumper. I'm not going to speak for Chad Thurnquist, but I've always played which lane to pick depending on who's behind you.
Hadn't thought about that. So you think it might help? I don't know. The way Alec Ballvance has been on the restarts, it might be just one of those pick your poison deals.
Yeah, but again, I mean, Shane Therian has the new set of tires, and we saw how fast he was able to catch up. I mean, I would just be trying to fit as many trucks in front of him as possible, just to make it that much difficult. But we'll have to find out. Again, we also seen the outside be the only spot for a leader to lose the lead, so we'll have to find out.
I'm telling you, if we had a choose cone here in Elite, I don't care if every single truck took the bottom. I would take the bottom every time at Martinsville.
And that's what Chad Thurnquist does. He takes the bottom. So that leaves Jared Rexing now to have to really put up a battle if he wants to stay in second, or if he can get an amazing restart, maybe have something for the 92.
I was about to say, somebody should tell Alec we don't have a choose cone, because he hung out on the bottom for a long time, but now he has taken his rightful spot outside row 2 as we get ready for the restart here. With 29 laps to go here in the Byrd Racing 150. Boy, oh boy. How will it play out? Chad Thurnquist on the gas pedal. Jerry Rexing almost collecting the wall off of turn 4. Here, yeah, this is going to get really spicy.
Really tight. Oh, he clears himself. Oh, Jerry Rexing's going to have a shot to the bottom. He's taking a very early approach into the turn. Ooh. Oh, so close to the back bumper of Chad Thurnquist. Somehow, in some way, every single one of those drivers made it through that turn. It didn't look like any of them were working well with each other, though.
No, and you know, Chad Thurnquist has to be very happy to see a yellow truck between him and the white and green truck of Shane Therian, because it means those fresh tires have to pass somebody before they get to him.
Well, one thing that's definitely on the mind of Chad Thurnquist, just in the frame back there, is the number 90 of Scott Crump. He has now worked himself up into 6th place and effectively made this a must-win situation for Chad Thurnquist. He has to win if he's going to stay in front of to get this final spot for the final 4 for next week. Right now, he's able to do it, and Scott Crump has really just the eyes on in front. Nothing that he can really do at this point in time, because he is still way too far back to have any play into the outcome of Chad Thurnquist's ability to win or not.
Chad Thurnquist has opened up a little bit of a gap here on Jared Rexing. Shane Therian's probably got to have to get a little... well, again, he does have the win at Vegas, so he's not in the same desperate situation as some of these other guys, but you have to wonder if he needs to maybe get up there and, like you say, play spoiler a little bit and really force the issue here with Jared and try to go for that win for the sake of his teammates.
Yeah, neither one of those drivers. They're both essentially in the final four due to points or wins otherwise. But Chad Thurnquist has a higher line going around the turns and is able to put the throttle down, especially coming out of the turn. He has a much higher line in turns 3 and 4 and is able to now start to put a pretty healthy gap now on Jared Rexing.
You know, that's one thing you can kind of play with when you have clean air, right? You can try to find a little more grip in those higher lines. It's just you got to be careful once you're around traffic that you don't leave the door open for a pass.
Yeah, but bumpers are going to play a factor here because Shane Therian can't wait behind Jared Rexing too long. Jared Rexing's not really able to make any kind of progress on the 92. I mean, slight, but not anything substantial with 10 laps coming around. But oh my goodness, this 38 there got loose coming out of turn 2 and actually lost a couple of truck links to Jared Rexing. So, I mean, these truck drivers right now are pushing it hard.
Oh, no doubt about it. With so much on the line as we're down to 10 laps to go. You know these guys are leaving everything out on the track right now.
Well, again, this is Chad Thurnquist's race this season on the line. This win would mean more than his Texas win. A caution comes out.
Oh!
Just because we need to get closer to 18, I was starting to get worried there.
Well, let's see what gave us number 16, shall we? Any guesses? Any?
I'm hearing netcode.
Well, that's not helpful. Netcode isn't a driver's name.
Well, I mean, did you try? I'm not sure exactly where it was at, though. It might have been farther back.
Maybe I see. Oh, I think I'm close. I think I'm close. Hey, let's see here. Uh-oh. I think I was too far back. So here we go. Yeah. This is Tristan Wood and Scott Crump. Yeah, that's definite netcode. Definite netcode.
Luckily, no one too majorly damaged other than Tristan Wood losing about maybe 4 or 5 positions, but glad to see netcode not really play too big a factor into today's race so far. I mean, so far it looks like that was our first sign of real netcode for the whole event, so we'll be pretty, for a short track, got to be pretty happy about that.
Oh, definitely. 16 cautions. I don't know, Gerald. I don't know. We're getting close.
Well, there is green-white checkers still involved.
That is a possibility. That is certainly a possibility.
So we're not done. Not by a long shot. Again, Chad Thurnquist needs to win this race. Scott Crump has now worked his way up into 4th. I said he was too far back. That caution eliminated all that. He is right there. He knows, and they're teammates. Chad Thurnquist and Scott Crump are teammates. He knows that if that 92 wins today's race, he's out. His win last week didn't matter. Again, he came into this point tied for the final spot, but Chad Thurnquist eliminates all options of points for that situation, as he would at that point take over the final spot available. So, I mean, there's a lot to play on the line here. I mean, again, one thing that the other 2 drivers that are right behind Chad Thurnquist, in between Scott Crump, you got Tyler Rexing and Shane Therian. They would love to win tonight just for the mere fact of the mind games. Going into the next race, that, hey, I've already beaten you once, I can do it again, so they're going to go into this knowing that, this is almost like a prequel to, is it a prequel? Prequel to what we'll see for the final race in the season.
Next week on Vocabulary with Gerald.
Did I do wrong?
No, you did great. You did great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I say words. I don't know if they actually mean anything, but I read them, so I got to use them at some point.
Hey, that's better than most. That's better than most.
Well, Chad Thurnquist is hoping better than the rest of the field as he gets a pretty good start there. Is able to get out for a little bit of a lead, but Jared Rexing had a great start too. Able to clear for a second right on the back bumper. Is going to have anything going down the back straightaway. We've seen a lot of juking and diving on that turn 3 corner, but right now is playing nice and staying right behind Chad Thurnquist.
Coming to 4 laps to go. Chad Thurnquist leading the way, wanting to secure that playoff spot for the finale at Atlanta next week. Jared Rexing second, Shane Terrian third, Scott Crump fourth, and right now, Chad Thurnquist in the catbird seat.
Yeah, he's starting to now do a little bit of a gapping caution to race that, so we're not done yet. He's got 2 laps. He just needs to come back around, I believe. Yeah, as we're on lap 148. Right now, he's got about a 2 or 3 truck length over Jared Rexing.
Chad Thurnquist will get the popsicle sticks this time by 2 laps to go. Can he hold on for the win? They enter turns 1 and 2. Chad Thurnquist leading Jared Rexing, Shane Terrian, lap and a half to go here in Martinsville.
This is what he's hoping for. He comes back around. If he gets the flag, the white flag, then all he has to worry about is the truck behind him. Jared Rexing is now only 1 truck length behind and slowly gaining. Jared Rexing's going to have 1 turn to play spoiler for Chad Thurnquist. Is he going to be able to have anything? He's looking low. Chad Thurnquist takes an early entry in and comes around turns 3 and 4, and he's going to do it. He's going to...
Oh, no!
Oh! He got on that gas super hard, but he does it. Chad Thurnquist will be in the Final 4. He's going to complete the season that he needed and be able to be up there at Martinsville where he needed to be. He needed to win to get it in, and he does.
I don't think my heart has dislodged from my throat yet from that turn 4 exit from Chad Thurnquist.
Chad Thurnquist wins his 2nd elite race, and man, did it come at a good time. He needed it out here at Martinsville with his teammate Scott Crump running in 4th and essentially ahead of him points-wise. He needed to win to be able to get it in, and now he's going to have a chance. He's going to be one of 4 drivers, and again, in this truck series, who knows what will happen? Who knows who's the favorite? Because as we saw tonight, anything can happen, and now he's going to be a 1/4 chance to come away with a truck series championship underneath his belt. Fantastic race for Chad Thurnquist.
Oh, boy, what a thriller. Here at Martinsville, Chad Thurnquist picking up the win. Now he's taking the victory lap in that number 92. We'll take a look at the results as we await our drivers to join us here for interviews. Chad Thurnquist, the winner. Jared Rexing, 2nd. Shane Terrian, 3rd. Scott Crump, 4th. Alec Baldwin's 5th. Tristan Wood, 6th. Tom Bourne, 7th. Zishan Dura, 8th. Brent Jones, 9th. Anthony Ludi rounding out the top 10. Sam Boutwell, 11th. Dylan Jones, 12th. Harrison Talon, 13th. Bronson Stafford, 14th. Kyle Walgren, 15th. I don't think NASCAR is going to like the burnouts on pit road, but keep doing that. Corey Abbott, 16th. Hunter Smith, 17th. Michael Hossack, 18th. Ryan Barbieri, 19th. Tyler Dixon in 20th. Then it's Mark Keeler, William Harrington, Mark Revelos, Jordan Owens, Sean Ryan, and Josh Freed finishing 26th.
Well, I'll tell you what. Our top 3 finishers are all the Final 4 playoff drivers. Not all the Final 4 playoff drivers, but 3 of the 4 are our Final 4 for the playoff for next week. I mean, that just shows you that, these drivers, Tyler Rexing, Shane Terrian, and now Chad Thurnquist, they showed up tonight and in a big way, and now they're going to be racing for a championship, and I can tell you how much that means. It means quite a bit to even be able to make the Final 4. So congratulations to those drivers and Bronson Stafford for that final playoff spot as well.
What a race here to close out the penultimate round of the playoffs. Right now we've got Jared Rexing in the waiting room, so we'll go ahead and bring him in. 2nd place finisher here tonight at Martinsville. Jared Rexing joining us here. Jared, ultimately runner-up finish. What would it have taken to get the win here tonight at Martinsville?
I don't know, better tires. Thurnquist was really good. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty sure I did have better tires than him that last run, but he was just he was on one tonight, and he wasn't. You know, he deserved the win, and he deserves to be in the Final Four, no doubt about it. So, congrats to him. I'm glad to finally put together a clean race this round and have a shot as well in the championship race at Atlanta. So it was a good race.
Yeah, as you just alluded to, you are in the Final Four. Three of all the top three are actually in the Final Four. So you know your competitors. You've raced around them all night tonight, and it was clean for all of it actually. So yeah, very clean Final Four grouping. What do you got to do next week?
Yeah, the Final Four we got going. You know, we've all raced all season long with respect. I don't think any of us have gotten into each other or haven't had any words or anything. So I expect the same next week to be a clean, respectful race, and whoever wins it's gonna earn it and deserve it because we'll race hard and we'll give it all we got. But yeah, going into Atlanta, I don't really know what to feel about that track. I've ran well, I've ran bad, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm expecting to give it my all. I know the competitors will too, and it should be a good one.
Well, I've watched you race. Obviously, as much as I've raced in elite, and I say probably this truck season, you've been more aggressive than you've ever been. And as you just stated, you've made it into the Final Four. I don't think you've made it into a Final Four before. Aggression obviously playing a factor in that, winning at Bristol and winning at a couple other tracks, and now you come into it and you've gotten yourself in. You came to Martinsville, and aggressiveness actually played to your benefit, being able to get out front. Are you gonna take that aggressive driving and take it into Atlanta?
Yeah, I think I got to. I don't ever do good playing the waiting game. That's really what I think got me in trouble the first two races of this round. I was certainly aggressive, but I was cautiously aggressive. I knew I had the points buffer and didn't want to wreck. So if I can just stay myself and run hard each and every lap and give it my all, I think that's the best way to approach the race.
Well, other than that, congratulations. We look forward to seeing how it all plays out at Atlanta. Obviously, well-deserving season so far. Other than that, we want to let you do your shout-outs, and hopefully we get to talk to you at Atlanta.
Yeah, shout out to my wife for watching, cheering me on every week. It's awesome. Shout out to Chad for winning. He deserved it and earned it. The other Final Four competitors, it's great for all of us, and it's going to be a fun one. Shout out to my teammate Alex. Got a top 5 today. That was awesome. He didn't make the Final Four, unfortunately, but that's a good confidence and momentum boost for sure. So thank you, guys.
Well, we thank you, Jared. Again, congratulations, and we look forward to for seeing you next week, and hopefully be able to put on a show and do what you did tonight, run up front.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
That's Jared Rexing coming home with the second place finish. We'll now bring in our winner here tonight, Chad Thurnquist, picking up the W to punch his ticket to Atlanta next week. Chad, how does this one feel?
Better than the other one? Way better than the other one. I don't even know how I pulled that off.
Well, we saw all night. It was crazy. We saw drivers that looked to be favorites get involved into wrecks. That was one of your teammates, Scott Crump. And we had noted that you weren't far outside the points, but that all changed, especially with what the criteria for you making the Final Four when your teammate, Scott Crump, started to slowly work his way back up into the field. And I'm pretty sure with you guys both being in the chat, you knew where he was and you knew what you needed to do. Was there any way that you weren't going to drive for that win any harder than you did?
Yeah, if Crump and Bourne didn't make it back up into the top 10 where they did. But they made it up that far, so I just decided it was time to go, and it was really weird. Sometimes I was able to run the top better than the bottom. Sometimes I was able to run the bottom better than the top. But Rexing, he made some aggressive moves on the bottom, and I told him one time off of 2 he was clear, and that's when I made my move to cross him over going into 3, and then he tried to do the same thing on another restart. I blocked him, and before that he went super shallow, and we had a Hamilton Verstappen moment where we nearly got together. But wild night, just put my truck where it needed to be, hit a couple of people, but both of them weren't my fault, so yay! Just thankful that I was able to get one done, and we can head into Atlanta with a shot to win.
As you stated, you have a shot to win at Atlanta. You've made it into the Final Four. You've completed what you were probably set out to do, which was to make it in the Final Four here in the Truck Series. And now you have a shot to be an elite champion. Crazy things happen. Anyone in the Final Four has a shot into it. What are your chances into Atlanta? What do you got to do to come out? Because you're going to be up against Shane Theory and Jared Rexing. Both those drivers finished right behind you tonight. So that gives you a kind of an idea that obviously these are top running guys because they were right behind you the entire time. And, you know, it's kind of a prelude to what's to come.
Can I wreck all 3 of them?
I mean, you could do whatever you want. I'm not the admin.
That's depressing. Nah, but yeah, it's definitely going to be tough going up against them, where Atlanta is, it's not really a passing track until you get on old tires and you see who saved and who didn't. And I'm hoping there's some tire and fuel strategy going into play into that race, because if there isn't, then that would be kind of boring. But
we also have to note that you won at Texas, and that was with a very long run track, and you did it on the long run, and you did it with old tires. So I don't know. Maybe you might be the favorite.
Can we go to Texas again? Do it all over?
I'll state again. I'm not the ad. Stop. I don't know what to tell you.
Get admin.
No. Well, that's true, but no. I'm the admin, especially here with 16 cautions. That's too much work for me.
Yeah. Texas and Atlanta do have their similarities, but they also have their differences. Tire wear is going to be different. The banking's different. It's a similar cutout, but it's not the same by any means. There's a certain way to run every track. None of them are equal. So, got to go in there, practice, get everything set up the way I need to, and if I don't get the championship, then I'm not going to be disappointed, because I know I had a shot at it, and I did the best I could, gave it my all.
I'll give you an idea. I've won 2 Cup champions, and I went into the final race, and I did probably close to 300 laps of practice. And when you do 300 laps of practice, you pretty much know everything that truck is going to do. Of course, they have a lot more draft in this, so who knows what that's going to play into a factor. But you have a 1/4 chance, just like the rest of them, and you came away with a win, with a must-win. We'll see if you can do it again next week. You got any shout-outs for us?
Shout out to Rish. Glad to get another one for Inferno Racing. Don't know how I got multiple wins on the season. Shout out to Frankenfield for putting this on as usual. And what else? Oh yeah, being the off-track race control for tonight. He was very informative and helpful. Some calls were in the gray area. Some calls are black and white. Just depends on how you see it. Shout out to you guys for being the productions for this, so you could get my win on the stream. But it's always fun looking back at the races, seeing what I did, seeing what everyone else did, what I could change, what I did right, wrong, etc., and just an overall fun league to be around. Yeah, there were a lot of incidents here and there, but at the same time, the racing up front was competitive but fun. We were on each other quite a bit, but we were keeping it clean for the most part.
Well, again, congratulations to you. I'm sure you got more celebrating to do with your team, but other than that, we hope to be able to talk to you again next week.
You got any beer?
I got plenty of beer. I don't know if you can drive all the way down here before I drink
Just send me the fridge. We'll be good.
it. Yeah, I'm not paying for that shipping.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good
Oh. And that's Chad Thurnquist, your winner tonight here at Martinsville. Mentioned we'll see him in that Final Four at Atlanta. Another driver we will see in that battle is Shane Terrian, who finished third tonight. Shane, obviously you had that win at Vegas a couple of weeks ago. How much did that help you as far as just getting through tonight?
I just had no pressure. I just didn't really. I was trying to tease Thurnquist there at the end. I was like, "Hey, Thurnquist, how's it feel having me and Rexing behind you with nothing to lose right now?" I'm trying to scare him to make a mistake because obviously I want Tom Bourne to make it in. And we were just joking around during the race, but yeah, it helped a lot. Unfortunately, I couldn't really race aggressive because I feel like I'm in a weird spot where if I touch Chad or Rexing, it looks like I'm purposely wrecking them to help a teammate, and I just felt like I couldn't do that. I couldn't race hard because I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, he's manipulating the race" or whatever. So I wish I could have raced more aggressive at the end to try and get the win, but I was in a really tough spot. I didn't know how that would look. So I just rode in third place there.
Well, we saw a lot of strategy. Your strategy was quite interesting. You stayed out for all the stages, and then you pitted after the halfway point, and that put you behind all the guys that you see in front of you. Was that the thought process? I know you're trying to help Tom Bourne, especially with trying to figure out a way with him being out front whenever you did give the position over to him. But would you have done things a little differently with how you played the tire strategy?
Nope, that was my strategy from the beginning. So to put it in perspective, when Bronson pit for the first time for tires at the end of the first stage, his tires were still 100%. So I was like, all right, I'm not pitting at all because I can make it on fuel with all these cautions. So I was like, I'm just going to stay here, and the only time I'm going to give up leads if Tom's up here. And Tom got up to third. I told him when I was going. I jumped to the top, gave him the lead, and then things happened after that. I had only pit originally because I figured if I had fresh tires, I could get back up to second and just stay behind Tom. But that ultimately did not work out because Tom got dumped by the 5. So yeah, that was my strategy from the point because this track is track position. I wasn't going to give it up no matter the cost. I didn't care how my tires were. Didn't care about the fuel. Was not giving it up.
Well, again, we alluded earlier in the race that your team, all three of you guys, are going to be jumping up into Cup this year. You almost completed the trifecta where your entire team almost made the Final Four. We saw how dominant you guys were at Daytona, and then just steady along as you went, as you guys slowly arose at the end of the season to start getting into a spot where you were all comfortably in. You got in pretty early on. Bronson Stafford had a pretty good points gap between the cutoff line, and then we saw obviously your teammate Tom Bourne have an up and down night, and unfortunately ended kind of sour, even though he got a 7th place finish. What's it like with your team? Are you gonna try to just complete things off and then try to get a feel for how it's gonna go for Cup for next season?
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal is to win this championship. Luckily, we're in another next-gen car league, getting some practice in. Boy, I am not ready for that next year in Elite because I don't know what to do with those cars. But yeah, we're looking out to win this championship. It's at Atlanta, so it's going to be relatively close to Vegas. And basically, it's going to come down to if the leader can break the draft, the leader's going to win the race, like we saw with me at Vegas. So that's the goal. Hopefully, it's me and Bronson battling it out, and Thurnquist and Rexing can, something happen to him. I hope. That's the goal. But I mean, the last time me and Bronson were in a championship situation at Atlanta, we got dumped on lap 6 and lost championship before it even started. So hopefully, and on top of that, Tom was in it and he got crashed on pit road while leading. So last time we were in Atlanta for a championship 4, we didn't have good luck. So hopefully we could turn it around and get the championship, because it'd be awesome to come into Elite first year. Me and Bronson make the Final Four first year, and we can get the championship. That'd be awesome.
I know Zach's trying to start up stuff. He wanted me to make sure you knew that Chad Thurnquist was trying to find the legal way around to spinning you guys out for the championship.
Why are we bringing my name into this?
I don't know why.
I heard that. I had the broadcast up. I was listening.
Okay, good. But no, again, great season for you guys. I want to make sure you guys get a good shout out. Again, you guys are gonna both you and your teammate Bronson Stafford, literally the only driver that in the Final Four that we didn't get to talk to tonight for the championship next week. I want to make sure you guys get a shout out for both him and you as we look forward to seeing what can happen as we wrap up this amazing stories of this season playing out at Atlanta next week. So go ahead and we'll bring it to you and let you round things out for us.
Yeah, I mean, first I'm going to thank Frankie Field for letting us join. I was on the fence about it for a little bit, but I'm glad he let us join. It's been really fun. My consistency's paid off this year. I haven't really won much, one win. Gonna give it to my teammates Bronson and Tom. We did all we could for Tom tonight. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off. And then you guys for broadcasting. And I don't know if you're racing Cup, Gerald, but it'd be nice to race with you again. It's been a while.
I'm in Cup. I'm not so good with those next gen cars, but I'm learning. I'm learning. I was way better with the other car, but the next gen ones are hit and miss, just depending on the track and how the setup is. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you at Atlanta, and maybe have a green F1 truck up front for the win.
Hopefully, we'll see. It's probably gonna get rowdy because it's gonna be like a super speedway the first 20 laps.
Well, we can't wait to watch that.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Shane, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So that brings a close to tonight's coverage. Next week, 1 week away, we're going to crown the champion here in the Truck Series at Atlanta. It's going to come down to Shane Terrian, who we just spoke with, as well as, obviously, tonight's winner, Chad Thurnquist, Shane Terrian's teammate, Bronson Stafford, and Jared Rexing, your second place finisher tonight. 1 week away. Of course, we'll have more racing here on the Elite Racing Network between now and then. Tomorrow night, speaking of Atlanta, the SMRI Productions Grand National Series will be at Atlanta for 130 laps of racing tomorrow. Wednesday night, the JoinAPS.com Cup Series goes to Charlotte. Be sure to check out that one. And before we crown that truck champion on Sunday, we will crown an Elite IndyCar Series champion on Friday night. What a championship battle they have in the IndyCar Series, coming off a thrilling finish to their US 500. They'll crown a champion at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway Friday night. So be sure to catch all of that on the Elite Racing Network as the 2021B season coming to a close. And boy, it's just excitement all across the board in all those series, Gerald.
Yeah, again, with so much storylines and a great win for Chad Thurnquist tonight. We'll have to figure out exactly who's the favorite, because it seemed like all the drivers seemed like they had their own strengths and own strategy as to how they're going to play out at Atlanta. So a lot of stuff to talk about next week, and I hope everyone tunes in, because that's going to be a fun race. As Shane Therian was saying, it's super speedway packaged to almost like for the Truck Series to play out for the championship. It's going to be an interesting one.
Well, that'll do it for us here tonight. For Gerald Campbell, I'm Zach Evans. Thank you for tuning in tonight on the Elite Racing Network. Be sure to tune in next Sunday night for the Truck Series finale here in the Elite Racing League, as well as all the great programming here we have on the Elite Racing Network. And until next time, thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful evening.